with his tough-talking demeanor.
Who is this stupid God?
Fact-finding, well, sorry. Do not fuck with me.
Controversial policies.
That's why we wage the war on drugs, because we value life.
And current pressing issues concerning the country's foreign policy.
Tanong sila, will you allow the Chinese to fish? Of course. Yan ang pinag-usapan namin noon, kaya tayo nag-uusap eh. It was a mutual agreement. Sige, bigayan tayo. Fish ka doon, fish ako dito. They don't understand the social, economic, political problems of the Philippines.
President Rodrigo Duterte seems to be in the center of the universe. And he had become so popular that his presence can be felt not only in the Philippines, but around the globe through the help of international media. This is Neil Arwin Mercado, and in this INQUIRER.net exclusive, we find out who is President Rodrigo Duterte in the eyes of international media, and what are the struggles of being a foreign journalist in the Philippines.
Atin ang Pinas!
Even before Duterte rose to power from being Davao City's mayor to the country's president, he had been under the lens of the media. In 2016, Time magazine featured Duterte dubbing the then Davao City mayor as the Puncher, amid his looming win in the national polls. Duterte's popularity in the international media had seemingly only grown through the years. Maria Diosa Labiste, who teaches at the journalism department of the College of Mass Communication at the University of the Philippines, Diliman, said that among the reasons for Duterte's popularity in the international media is his quotable language. In an emailed statement to INQUIRER.net, she said, quote, Duterte's use of historical references such as the Holocaust and Hitler, his anti-US tirades, his pro-Chinese equivocation, and his post-colonial quips easily generated international coverage. Likewise, his regular inflammatory rants became international news because they are covered by the local media and amplified on social media. End quote.
Hitler massacred 3 million Jews. Now, there is 3 million, there's a 3 million drug addicts. There are. I'd be happy to slaughter them.
For the palace, the president is someone who only speaks his mind and heart and speaks what the masses feel.
Hindi sanay ang international media sa isang presidente, isang leader na who really speaks his mind and his heart. Now, you must remember that kung ikukumpara mo international media from national and regional media sa atin, iba-iba ang thinking niyan eh. Iba-iba. Iba-iba yung mga nakasanayan. Pag tinanong mo yung media sa Davao, sanay na sila. Pag tinanong media sa Mindanao, sanay na sila kasi ganun yung batuhan ng mga diskurso, sagutan sa ere sa amin sa Mindanao. We do have a president who really listens to the masses. At napakatagal na nung panahon na siguro nagkaroon tayo ng isang leader na talaga nakikinig at nagsasalita or isang leader who talks the way that the masses talk.
With the rise of the online platform, Andanar also noted how Duterte's nature of saying quotable and controversial remarks produced what is called as clickbaits.
I was in the private media once. I ran the online portals of TV5 and napaka-importante talaga pag yung taong nagsasalita ay nasi-share yung sinasabi. Pwedeng gamitin clickbait, etc. So kumbaga sa produkto pa, mabenta talaga si Presidente. Nagsalita rin si Presidente, boom, it goes viral. So whether you're local, regional, national media, or international media, he's really a good subject.
Copy.
A good copy.
The international community had slammed Duterte's campaign, seeking to eradicate illegal drugs in the country. The campaign had resulted in thousands of deaths, as per the latest numbers from the Philippine National Police.
The war on drugs does not work.
The campaign has garnered the attention of the international community, leading to foreign journalists like Howard Johnson to cover the policy for the BBC News.
I arrived in the Philippines in July 2017. I'd obviously read about what was happening with the drug war, but I wanted to see it firsthand. I wanted to meet the people who were involved and caught up with this drug policy and to judge for myself. I went along to the communities in Tondo and Santa Cruz in Manila to begin with, and I met family members who had lost loved ones through either shabu use or even marijuana use. They allege, in some instances, that the police killed their children. One parent I spoke with said that the child had been killed because he had admitted that he smoked marijuana and he'd gone on the drug list, and he assumed that he was safe because he'd surrendered. But 3 months later, his door was kicked in and he was shot in the living room. The mother alleged that the funeral parlor team was already waiting outside the house. So this woman was poor, had no real reason to lie about the death of her son, and the tears on her face and the way she cried relentlessly for half an hour told me a lot about the trauma and the misery people go through as a result of this policy.
The palace, however, pointed out that the campaign had produced positive results, particularly the decline in the country's criminality rate, which are not highlighted in the media reports.
Bumaba ang criminality ng halos 9%. From 520,000 noong 2017, 2018, mga 470,000. 8 out of 10 Filipinos believe in the war against drugs, war against criminality. Tapos makikita mo na more than 1.2 million drug dependents have surrendered themselves to the authorities para sila ay ma-rehabilitate. Makikita mo yung mga kali ngayon, mas safe ang mga kali ngayon. At meron ding survey dyan na nilabas ang Philippine National Police. Even if you look at the data from the time of Tita Cory all the way to today, ay napakababa po ng crime rate ng ating bansa. I want international media to, especially the critics, to really go to the Philippines and really cover everything themselves. Kung meron mga critics na nag-criticize lang base rin sa mga reports coming from from other news sources in the Philippines or kung ano nababasa nila at hindi naman first-hand information, I think it is imperative for them to really go to the Philippines and don't only talk to the critical personalities in the Philippines, but also talk to government. Don't only talk to the victims that say that, teka muna, na-victimize kami ng PNP. Kausapin nyo rin yung pamilya ng mga police men na namatay dahil sa encounter sa drug. So, just be fair, just be objective.
Andanar further noted that the media institution's view also affects the reportage of the Duterte leadership.
If you ask the media in the eastern side of Europe, kasama Russia, at sama yung China, masabi mo na iba yung kanilang coverage doon sa coverage naman ng liberal Western media. So I do not have the data with me to tell you straightforward na 50%
Yes, sir.
ganito or 50%. So kailangan natin
But in ano, sir?
isa-isahin natin yan. So ang masasabi ko lang, pag Chinese media ang kausap mo, ang titingnan mo, very objective lang. Hindi sila nag-criticize. Pag tingnan mo naman yung Russian media, ganun din. Pag tingnan mo yung ibang nasa Europe, iba nasa Amerika, medyo negative. Lalong-lalo na yung mga nasa liberal side, nasa Democrat side pag sa Amerika. Very critical yung mga yan. Pero pag chinek mo naman yung Fox News, hindi naman ganun ka-critical. So, palagay ko, depende yan sa pananaw ng media organization. Alam mo naman na sa ibang bansa, malinaw yung stand ng isang media organization. Sa Amerika, kung ikaw ay isang conservative or ikaw ay isang liberal, ikaw ay isang Republican o Democrat, ganun din naman sa Europa. So I think depende yan sa kausap mo na media.
Here's the Philippine Constitution. I mean, any journalist coming to this country should read this first. And if you read it, in here is the Bill of Rights. And from there, you can really understand what this country believes in. Is this still a legal document? Is this something to take should I take my lead from this or shouldn't I? I mean, that's the question. It hasn't been altered yet, and there's talk that it will be altered. But as it stands, this is still a legally binding document. So I base my understanding on what's wrong and right in this country or what's legal based on that document. And so how can you dispute that?
For Johnson, the issue simply relies on one thing.
Well, my expectations started with what I'd seen in the newspapers. The New York Times did a very visceral piece that I believe won the Pulitzer Prize, internationally recognized journalism. Then I saw the bodies myself on the street. I saw them being dragged away in body bags. I saw the families crying. I saw that experience. And I've met with members who live in very squalid conditions, and everything adds up. So my expectations were met. What was being reported at the beginning of the drug war is exactly how it is. It's just whether you choose to care about it. That's really what it boils down to.
Duterte supporters had also previously noted how foreign journalists do not have a context in reporting the president's controversial policies, as well as the cultural differences with regard to Duterte's use of words. At the end of the day, however, Johnson said he is merely reporting what Duterte says and what he sees amid the controversial drug war. He added that efforts were made to ensure the balanced reportage of the policy.
We have also written to the police to find out their side of the story, and we always wait to hear back from them. And we always make sure that all of our work is balanced to make sure that it reflects both sides of the story. So this idea that it's just a one-way story that just listens to the families is not accurate, because we always show both sides of the story and speak with those who also agree with the policies. Every live I report on when we talk about the drug wars, I always mention the taxi driver or the person in the community who says they feel safer because the people are scared on the streets. They're scared of the actions of the police. But we've also met families who said they're terrified by the fact their door will get kicked in the night and that their daughter's breasts will be exposed to the police. They're scared of seeing bodies being dumped by the police, allegations. They're scared of the fact that maybe their teenage son has been dragged down an alley and shot in the back.
Duterte's popularity in the international media raised debates, whether it is the agent that makes the history or it is the history that makes the agent. For the palace, it is a mixture of both.
Everything is timing, Neil. It came to a point when President Duterte became president that our importance in the global community multiplied 1,000-fold. Suddenly, the Philippines is in the center of the universe. Suddenly, the Philippines has become a very important country because of our proximity to China and because of our location in the West Philippine Sea, where majority of the trading ships that go to China to and fro pass through our sea lanes. It's very important. And we have two giant countries, the United States and China, competing against each other business-wise, trade-wise, and military-wise. And we are in the center of it. So the Philippines has become a very important country.
Andanar said that it is not only Duterte as a person, which includes his tough-talking demeanor and controversial policies, that makes the Philippines a popular topic among the international media, as other external issues are also at play.
Kahit na napakagaling mo na agent, kung hindi naman timing yung pagpasok mo bilang Pangulo, makakagawa kasi sikat ka, pero hindi kasi sikat ng ganon. Pero kung nagsabayan, you have, that's the ingredient for becoming very popular internationally.
Johnson's reporting has also led to numerous instances where he was tagged a yellow tard, which has been a tag widely used in the online community against those criticizing the president.
In my 15-year career at the BBC, this is the most threatening country I've worked in as far as receiving threats of violence, intimidation, all online. A few statements have been issued as well that weren't particularly nice to hear. What I feel here is there's a culture online, a nasty culture of people who attack and try to undermine, and it seems that there's nothing being done to rein that in. A lot of talk about freedom of speech and reporters being welcome to come here and report, but if you do report on controversial issues, you will receive a barrage of abuse that can terrify people's family members back at home, can upset people. I'm not exaggerating. I've received threats that say, watch your back, ... skull and crossbones. If I find you in the street, I will punch you in the face. I've had, numerous threats about tracking me down, and yet I haven't really felt comforted by any action to kind of stop that. I believe that there is free reporting here. I'm testimony to that, as in it's free to come here and report, but prepare for the consequences if you say something that someone doesn't like. That's also really honest. I have to be honest. I have received threats. That isn't a nice thing, and that did feel organized. It didn't feel like it was just an organic thing that came out of the blue. The way the language was written, the way it went on and on for days and then just stopped abruptly like a switch had been turned off.
Regarding the protection of journalists in the country, local or foreign, Andanar assured that Duterte has concern for them with the signing of his first administrative order as the country's chief, the Administrative Order 1, which created the Presidential Task Force for Media Security.
The first president in the Philippines or in the world to create a task force whose task is precisely to protect the media, to ensure that there is media security. Pagdating sa media, merong malasakit ang ating mahal na Pangulo sa Presidente, sa media. Merong malasakit ang Pangulo sa media. Merong makikitang napakalaki, napakataas na pagsalig ang ating Pangulo sa media. Our President protects and also advocates strongly freedom of the press.
I have no interest in wealth. I don't have a car. I ride a push bike. I like my coffee in the morning, my newspaper, and the simple pleasures of life, like walking in the mountains. And I have a pet Azkal street dog that I saved from what looked like imminent death. I care about truth, actually. That's the only thing that really motivates me. We've put in requests to speak with him again. I'm sure the world would love to see more of the president and hear from his own voice, to hear what he has to say about the Philippines and his recent midterm election success. So really, we would love it if the president could grant us an interview so we could hear from him about really what's happening here in the Philippines.
Duterte's popularity in the international media and international community is seemingly not going anywhere anytime soon. With the upcoming State of the Nation address, it would be interesting to see if Duterte would address issues with regard to the state of journalism in the country, for both local and foreign journalists. This is Neil Arwin Mercado for INQUIRER.net.
Atin ang Pinas!